this game ends up going the distance here, simply because... Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 3 of this best of 3 series. The players are currently 1-all. The winner of this game will advance into the semi-finals for the Go4 SC2 Sunday Cup, spawning in the bottom right-hand position as the red Zerg player, winning game number 1 with some sustained aggression, but then losing game number 2 effectively the same way. Let's see how he's going to make amends on Foxtrot Labs. It's Targa. And his opponent, spawning in the top left position as the blue Zerg player representing Team My Insanity, one of the youngest pro players on the scene at the moment and impressing at DreamHack Stockholm. But right now he needs to win this game to stay in this tournament. We'll find out if he can do just that. It is, of course, Raynor. So the first 2 games, guys, seem to really be reciprocating each other. We had Targa with absolutely excellent sustained aggression in game number 1, winning that game and preventing Raynor from doing any damage at all with his switch to Mutalisks. However, in game number 2, we had Raynor effectively do the exact same thing. He had an awful lot of Zerglings just constantly streaming in with those Banelings, and was able to prevent Targa from getting that natural expansion. In fact, getting him to cancel that natural expansion at the last second really was what set Targa back so much and forced him to go all in. He then managed to get his lair in the meantime. He had his Roach Warren up and was able to easily defend against Targa's counterattack, and that's what won him game 2. Game 3, on the other hand, as both players, by the way, now have their natural expansion hatcheries. Raynor ever so slightly sooner, because he's actually starting his spawning pool now, but nothing major to note at this point in time. Now, first queen already on the way, of course, for Targa, getting that spawning pool first. Nothing out of the ordinary there. I wonder if we're going to be seeing a 3rd game in a row of non-stop Zergling and Baneling aggression. It feels like, I mean, both players have looked comfortable when they're ahead and really uncomfortable when they're behind. That's kind of the nature of ZVZ and doesn't really represent these players' confidence levels and their abilities. It's very easy to look comfortable when you're ahead, so I'm trying not to read too much into that. What I would say is that when Raynor was playing from behind, his plan didn't work. I mean, neither player's plans worked when they were behind, unfortunately, but Raynor only managed to get 3 Mutalisks up, so it perhaps was a little bit ambitious playing from behind there, and wasn't able to make the difference. In fact, Targa just wins the game continuously with Zerglings. Whereas when Targa was behind, he recognized the need to immediately go all in, made a lot of Zerglings anyway. Raynor's transition when he was ahead at that point was just really good, getting those Roaches out in place so that the Banelings could do no damage, and that was really that. So it almost feels like the game reads sort of the snap decision-making that Targa made in game number 2 was arguably a more practical one. But again, everything is so situational here that, you know, we're really trying to analyze something that, in my opinion, borderline doesn't exist right now. It's very interesting from a psychological point of view, though. Now, both players getting Zergling speed at approximately the same time. Raynor, once again, going to be going ever so slightly more aggressive. We've got the earlier Baneling Nest here, and it looks like we are going to see the 3rd game in a row of explosions here in the Zotac Cup. So both sides going for those Baneling Nests. It looks like Raynor's going to be the aggressor here. He got his earlier, he got his speed roughly at the same time, but both sides are going to be making links. Targa actually the first to pop out with 12. Oh no, it's going to be Raynor by a small margin here. And, well, both sides appear to be sending their lings. Oh no, Targa's sending his lings to defend, and Raynor's sending his lings into the middle of the map. So positions as to who is the attacker and who is the defender here have been decided, and this time Targa's going to be going for a reasonably early spine crawler. He's saying, look, I'm going to defend this, and I really want it to be an awful lot more comfortable. Here go the Baneling straight into the mineral line. He actually exploded 2 Banelings with the larva, by the way, so that units couldn't be reproduced. An interesting initial hit there from Raynor. We'll see if that has any long-term effect on Targa. The Spine Crawler is now up, though, and I feel like that should just about be enough for now. If we take a look at the worker supply, it's 34 to 33 in favor of Targa right now, and he did lose all of the larvae at his natural expansion, which means a couple more units should be coming out from Reyna. You can see there's a small difference in supply, 47 to 44, not an awful lot, but enough to be noticed. It looks like he's coming in for round 2, but with the spine crawler here, I'm just not sure how practical that's going to be. And wow, that's a lot of Baneling. Needs to be so careful here. He's just dancing around a spine crawler, unfortunately losing a couple of lings in the process while he has that scout. And it looks like he's decided that he can go for it, but he's going to go for it with a much larger Zergling force here. Targa just continuing to be nice and patient by the looks of things. The evolution chamber is now almost up for him as well. He's gone up to 34 workers, so not as many as Reyna, who's droning up behind this and going for his lair. A little bit of a pattern that we see here in his play. And Reyna constantly trying to be as aggressive as possible here. One Ling is going to try and pick off that Baneling, and it will be unsuccessful. In the meantime, we have a massive Ling on Ling fight. Ooh, there we go. Finally managing to lose that Baneling. There are 4 more in reserve there for Targa, plus the Spine Crawler. I actually think he just defends this comfortably. Reyna's putting on the pressure to try and force Targa to make more units. I don't really think it's going to work, though. I mean, I'm just taking a look at what Reyna has back home. There we go. There's the end of the layer, and there's a Spire coming up. Targa, I mean, he knows he can just hold comfortably, and for that reason, he actually went back to droning just now, which I don't blame him for doing. He's actually going to take his 3rd base earlier than Reyna, so no layer tech for him. He's just going to grab that 3rd ASAP, and going to be researching that +1 armor. Nice little versatile upgrade there behind his mineral line in his main. We have a little bit more of a Zergling on Zergling skirmish out in the middle of the map here, and Raider's actually comfortably outgunned at the moment. Oh, he's going to be able to pick up a queen for his efforts by the looks of things, but all of his Lings get surrounded as well. I'm not sure that was a good trade, because Target now has a decent number of forces moving out towards Reyna now. He has got a Spine Crawl of his own. He's got an awful lot of Banelings, but there's potential for run-by into the main base here, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. Where are the Mutalisks? That's the real question. They are approximately, wow, as the gold base decides to get taken here. And oh dear, and here comes the initial hits. Only 1 Baneling left actually for Targa right now, and considering there are still a decent number of defensive Banelings in a Spine Crawl, he should be okay, but oh my goodness, did I say 1? Oh wow, I totally missed those off screen. Ladies and gentlemen, the Targa Banes, they are coming. Choo-choo, straight in here, and a lot of these drones are going to go to toast. There is no way that you can survive this magnitude of explosion. Let's take a look at the number of workers killed. 13 to 0 right now, but the first 5 Mutalisks are on the way, and 42 to 28 workers says that economically Targa is ahead, but to throw the Caster Curse out there, at what cost? Because at the end of the day, that's a lot of investment he had on that many Banelings going into the natural expansion of his opponent. It wasn't a trivial number. And we have got Mutalisks on the way now for Raider. He's got more than 3, which is what happened when he lost game number 1. So let's just see what he can end up doing here. I think he basically needs to clump them up. He doesn't really want 1 or 2 of them sort of out in front compared to the rest. Have we got Spore Crawlers on the way? Well, no, not yet. And it looks like this 3rd base is actually going to get sieged up by these Mutalisks right now. Doing a reasonably good job. One of the queens is... Wow, isn't going to go down. What? What? 3 hit points. Reyna. Reyna. Reyna, why? Oh, well, he looks like he's preoccupied with other battles now as Targa moving in with Zergling. So, he has the Mutalisk, but he needed to do damage with them. It doesn't look like he's going to do damage with them. He now probably needs to defend with them, but he's going to get here too late for all these Zerglings coming into his base. I think Targa has just tipped the scales. He's managed to tip over the edge here, and I believe he's got this game at the moment. He's now up 90 to 54 supply, and even though Reyna has a couple more mutas than he had in game number 1, it doesn't look like it's going to quite be enough to tip the scales back in his favor here. 24 Zerglings and more Banelings on the way for Targa. He absolutely wants to ravage this base, manages to pick off the natural expansion, and goes out, but look at the reinforcements here. There is going to be a round 2, make no mistake about that. And, well, more Lings getting into the main base, constantly harassing Reyna right now. The worker count is 43 to 24, and yes, there are more Mutalisks, but my goodness, did they arrive late. There are 10 of them now, which is a good number, but he's going to have to use all of them just to defend his main base. And he's defending only his main base as a 1-base Zerg against someone who already has 3 bases. Target can basically do nothing nothing but put Spore Crawlers up right now if he decided he felt like it, or nothing but make queens and be able to survive the Mutalisk counterattack. Reyna's going to try and rebuild here at the natural by the looks of things. He's just about getting 300 minerals, but I don't really think it's going to be enough at this time. He's going straight for the gold base, which is probably a sensible choice, but that's only if Targa allows him to keep it there. These Mutalisks will be able to clear a path and stops Targa from scouting a little bit. In fact, this one Overlord just about managing to get away. Or will he? It looks like he might just about get away with it. Oh, I spoke too soon. Sorry, little guy. And there we go. But with this map control, what can Reyna do? That's the real question. And Targa knows that actually he can just tie Reyna down to defense by constantly sending Lings out across the map, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. By the looks of things, he's sending them towards the natural. No, actually, Reyna's trying to lead him towards the gold base, maybe faking Targa out a little bit. Targa takes the bait, realizes there's nothing in the natural, and he's got a large number of Zerglings now inside the main base. The Mutalisks are also coming back to defend now as well, but not before several drones go down, and Reyna cannot afford for those drones to go down right now. It's 46 to 20 at the moment. He needs to do nothing but drone up, but he can't really afford to do that if he keeps getting attacked by Targa. So this is just a really nicely played game here from our red Zerg. We got the Roachborn coming down for Reyna as well. Good creep spread, a lot of queens here for Targa, and things are just looking pretty hunky-dory. We can see he's got a decent number of roaches here as well. The Mutalisks will harass them very, very slightly. I don't think any of them are going to go down, though, and the Queens are actually going to say, hang on a minute, guys, you really don't want to be harassing us like that here. We've got a run-by coming in into the third base location. Is Targa going to be able to defend it? Yeah, great surround with the drones as well. Nice little transfusion. We've got a Roach Hydra incoming, 114 to 55. Reyna doing a great job holding on here, but he is getting further and further behind at this point due to him being forced to not drone. And he's just making Mutalisks, he's just making Zerglings. Yes, he's taken the gold base, but it's taken him so long to get there that it's awfully frustrating for him right now. And he's just trying to pick off individual units right now, but needs to be so careful because these Hydralisks and these Queens are just doing so much DPS. And I get the feeling that, well, this gold base isn't going to be long for his world either. This is Foxtrot Labs. Very easy to pick off the drones, mining those gold minerals from the other side of those mineral patches. And by the looks of things, it's just going to be a victory march. GG! And Targa, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be moving on to the semi-finals of the Go4 SC2 Sunday Cup. Commiserations to Reyna, who played a very entertaining ZVZ series. We hope to see more of him soon.